Okay, I'm going to try this again. And you might be asking yourself, Nate, what do you mean again? Again what? Well, I will have you know, dear viewer, that this is my second attempt at trying to make some content. Which is already, now it's like officially taking more effort than I was wanting it to, and things aren't exactly going to plan. But basically what happened is I played a league match and then decided to, I'll review the recording and I'll make some content that way, because there was some interesting stuff that happened. We played against a Urza deck, and it just really kind of got to show how, like, boarding out some of the creatures we don't want, like the Geist, and bringing in Quellers, and sort of changing up the structure of the deck just a little bit. Like that, we really got to sort of show off how that worked, as well as something I mentioned in the sort of blabbing on video that I made. Also got to sort of show off how making the Titan on turn 4, as I've started calling it, how that played out as well. And so I did I covered a replay, which isn't the most interesting. It went fine, and then I recorded a league, I recorded a game, but I didn't realize till later that I forgot to unpause at one point when I had to pause, and so I screwed that up, and then I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll go back and replay that as well, and then I played a game live. I tried to squeeze a game in while my younger son was napping, but the thing is, the critical error was, I didn't really realize, I kind of knew, but I wasn't totally sure. I had fallen asleep with him for maybe 30 or 40 minutes. So I thought, okay, I think I still have enough time, but I really didn't. And he woke up at the end of it. And so I'm like, I'm trying to, he's crying up in the background. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so we're just gonna like, we're gonna do this. And I started making a million play mistakes. And eventually I was like, I was playing against Tron. After like a couple of minutes, I was like, I can't do this. I just had to concede. It looked like I was going to lose anyway. So that was screwed up, so I couldn't go back and correct that. And it just got to a point where I was like, okay, this is all... this didn't work. I'm planning to go back and re-record these other matches. This is a disaster. I realized I just need to set aside some time to do it, as opposed to continually to try to squeeze it in, because it just wasn't working. So today I'm trying to squeeze one in. My wife has I was trying to do some Christmas card stuff, and the sun came out, which is a rarity during this time of year here in England. So my wife was like, I want to take the kids to the park. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep, working on Christmas cards, honey, like a responsible husband does. And so she left. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can make a Magic video. Let's give that a try. Anyway, I'd much rather do this than do Christmas card stuff right now. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, that's what happened. So I just decided in the end, I was like, let me just, it's too much effort. It's all botched. It didn't work. Like half. It was sort of like, well, I guess I could replay one of the games for when I recorded it live, and then when I screwed up, I could pick up at that point and then narrate the rest on the replay. And it's got to this point where I was like, this is going to be easier to start over. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's start a new league. See how it goes. So with that out of the way, let me talk a couple of things about the deck, for maybe not everybody might have watched the last video. So let me first state that you have to know one thing. If you're new here, or if you don't remember, or whatever the case may be, I don't play the best decks. I just play the decks I want to play. That's what's fun to me in Magic. I want to win. I just want to do it on my terms. I guess you could sort of say I'm kind of like a Johnny Spike, I guess, or a Spiky Johnny. And that, I don't want to play something horrifically uncompetitive. I'm not going to play something like, I don't know, white-green bears or something. Just making something up. And I'm not going to just play like some crazy out there pet deck, but I'm going to find what seems the most fun to me in what is at least somewhat playable, and I'm probably just going to play that. And for me, that's Stoneforge Mystic. I wanted this card in the format for ages. I played it a bit in Legacy, and I just thought the card was sweet. And the Timmy side of me, I guess, wants to make Voltron, and put swords on creatures and do sweet stuff. And yeah, so that's sort of so I just want to mention that. Like, if you're here because you're wondering, is Jeskai, StoneBlade, Geistblade the best deck in the format? Probably not. It's probably reasonable. I actually think one thing that's kind of cool about Stoneforge decks is I feel like you could just build Stoneforge box in Modern and do pretty decent, because you could technically build Bant StoneBlade, Blue-White StoneBlade, or Jeskai StoneBlade, and they're all kind of good at different things. I think Jeskai StoneBlade is the best when they're small creature decks. It's also the best tempo deck. Blue-White has the ability, I think, just to be the raw most controlling, because you can run Archmage's Charms, and you have less removal in general, so you have more counter spells and card draw. Bant is Bant's probably just the best at doing what it's trying to do. Plus, you get Uro, because Bant can do Queller on turn 2, Geist on turn 2, that kind of thing. So it's probably, you could argue that maybe it's the fastest, it's the most all in on the creature sword plan. Whereas I think Blue, White, and Jeskai are like, well, we want to put a sword on a creature, but we want to do it when it's the right time. Whereas Bant's like, well, I'm just trying to kill you with creatures, and it is a tempo deck with Queller as well. Anyway. But that's one reason I like StoneBlade. It's just really adaptable. It's really fun. You can do a lot with it, basically. So a couple of things I want to mention in this deck, and then also maybe, I'm not sure I'm going to make the changes this league. Maybe I'll actually run through it with you guys and we can make some observations along the way. But I tend to sort of look at these. Am I still recording? Okay, good. Make sure I didn't make the same mistake as last time. I think of these 4 slots as like your utility sword carriers in a way. And the thing is, like, I feel like especially Modern power level has gotten so high that you need these creatures to do something besides just be dudes. They need to have some other effect or some other enter the play ability. So Click is pretty obvious. It interacts with their hands, which can be good against a lot of decks, and it can be good against Tron, against blue decks, against Titan decks. It's probably not so good against burn decks. It's not as good against super redundant decks that can kill it very easily. But it does fly, and it can carry a sword, and even against red decks in game 1, if you put a sword and fire and ice on it, it's really great. Geist, obviously, he just hits like a truck, and with a sword of fire and ice, he hits ridiculously hard. He hits for 10 a turn. So his main thing is just closing speed, as well as he's a sword target that people can't interact with. So if you have a sword on the battlefield, however it plays out, one of the sort of downsides of equipping is you can sometimes spend 2 mana, and it can be a little bit of a blowout if they kill the creature. And obviously with Geist, you don't have that problem. You can put Batterskull on Geist, which is great. Any of the swords on Geist are great. So that's sort of what he brings to the table. And then we have, obviously, Aven and Mind Sensor, good against Tron, Titan decks, bunch of decks. And then Queller is sort of like against our... It's our card against decks that aren't interacting so much. And then obviously have relevant 4-mana targets. Like, it's really good against Superstar spells. It's good against, even though they do run Bolt, it is good against, help me out here, Blue-Red Storm. So I like the idea of sort of being able to swap these in and out with the right creature for the matchup. That's why they're in the sideboard. I like Tail's End, and I've been running Tail's End, but I'm sort of hoping against... It's interesting. What I really like Tail's End against is it's really good against Tron, because it hits everything that we can't answer, as well as can snipe things like Expedition maps. It can, sometimes you have a sword on something, and you can ignore when they play their Oblivion Stone, and you can let them waste all this time and invest all this mana to Oblivion Stone you and just Tail's End the activated ability. The thing is, for me, at least in this deck, those Tail's End would be these engineered explosives. But I don't know, I don't want to be too reactive based on what I'm playing recently. But engineered explosives used to be a mainstay in Jeskai sideboards. In fact, there was a time when you built your sideboard with 2 Wear Tears, 2 engineered explosives, and everything else. And that was partly because Affinity was such a big deck at the time. But I've actually played a number of times against the Hammer Time deck, and I think I've lost it more than I've won it. It feels in a way like the new Affinity and Infect card in a way. And against that deck, the Hammer Times and the enchantment both cost 1. Plus, this also seems quite reasonable against Hardened Scales, which is another deck I've been seeing a lot recently. This hits a lot of key stuff. as well as just, it's just kind of an all-around utility removal card. So I kind of want to give it a try. And in fact, in the last league, I did end up playing against Spirits, and this was a real big blowout. It killed the Noble Hierarch, whatever the blue spirit is that counters an instant sorcery. It killed an Aether Vial. It was really good there. I don't see Spirits that often, but I want to give that a try. So, you have to kind of cut somewhere. We don't have any graveyard interaction right now, so that's a super big downside. Obviously, one of the nice things about Ashiok is in this slot here, he covers this ability, the search ability, and he gives you some graveyard interaction. And I think Ashiok is actually pretty good in general, but I'm still kind of I'm gonna forego it in this league to sort of just test out this configuration. Obviously, kind of having these other utility creatures is something to some extent we do anyway. I'd be running Aven Mind Sensor. And we could save too by deciding like, okay, we don't want Geist, and we're going to put Quellers here instead. But you got of Click and Queller, between Click, Queller, and Geist, I can't cut Aven Mind Sensor. It's too good. You could if you're going to run Ashiok, but we're also a sword deck, so. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to blab too much. It's already been 11 minutes. I feel like do my deck text in the beginning quite long. But I like explaining myself. The other thing I did want to mention was that kind of came up a lot in the last league was Valakut's Awakening. I tested it once and it was absolutely amazing for me. It was okay in the other games I cast it on. One thing I didn't like was I felt like I found myself wanting the second Mystic Sanctuary a lot. And more than once, the Mystic Sanctuary Valakut Nombo came up. It would come up before, but I felt like it came up a little less. It could come up with mountains, it could come up with plains, it could come up with Field of Ruin. It's just another way to make Mystic Sanctuary potentially be an awkward play. So what I really kind of want to do is, I think I just want to take Valakut's Awakening out, put back in another Mystic Sanctuary. And another thing on the land, just to mention, this Arid Mesa used to be a Polluted Delta, but I've been playing enough against decks with main deck Blood Moon that I like the Arid Mesa to give us another way to get our planes. You could argue that maybe this island isn't needed and it could be a Polluted Delta, but I'm just going to leave that the way that it is for now. Anyway, I think that's enough talking about the deck. Probably just get into some games and see how that goes. While I'm waiting, I wanted to mention something. One thing I noticed when I was recording those other games is I tended to talk a lot. Go figure. But what I mean is, I seem to have trouble. It's like when I'm playing on my own, I do all my internal thinking, and when I'm recording, I just sort of, I guess it's just old, like muscle memory or something. But I audibilize all that thinking so that everybody knows what's in my head. The problem with that is as soon as I started recording, I was noticing like my timer, like I never have timer issues, but I was always getting short on, the live games I started doing, I was just taking an excessive amount of time. And so what I'm really going to try to do here, I'm really going to try and not narrate what's not necessary, so I can save myself some time, but also the mental bandwidth, so I can think better. Because it's like I'm like slowing my thinking down because I'm doing it all out loud, and anyway, so yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, I think this is a keep. I mean, we have some selection, a threat, interaction. We don't have a counterspell, but the one thing I didn't mention in the deck tech was I'm still split on Serum Visions. In my gut, I think maybe it should be an opt, just because we also, especially if we go back up to 2 Mystic Sanctuary. But at the same time, Serum Visions was not bad in the league. Drawing a bolt would be great. Rewarded. Thank you, magic gods. I wonder if we're playing against a Blood Moon Clothis deck. That's sort of what it feels like. Ooh. All right. It's interesting. This is one other reason that I had considered not running Opt, and that is that there is a somewhat tenuous relationship between Serum Visions and Spell Snare. The fact that we only have one blue source is making that really apparent. That being said, I think the main thing we would have wanted to Spell Snare has already been played. They're more likely to play something like Clothis next turn. So I think we just Serum Visions. I think we need to bottom, even though these are good cards, because we really need to hit a third land next turn. See, I don't know that I need to narrate all that, because that should be pretty obvious. I don't really want to get Blood Mooned. Could have been right to play around that. It's kind of funny. We didn't hit our land, but I guess we just kill it. We are falling a bit behind, I feel. Bloodbraid Elf is my assumption. Oh, Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah. Jeez, what a bummer. Alright, we're passing. If he plays a big dragon, if they're still playing that card, I think we probably Mana Leak. Okay, it's a Bloodbraid Elf. And a Domri. I kind of think we just go to game 2. I don't know. I don't know if people would want to see me play it out, but we can counter this. Then we're taking 6, and unless we draw burn, we have no answer to this Wrenn and 6. I mean, if I was going to do it, I think I kind of have to get rid of the, what is it, minus? Okay, well, I'll concede there. We still didn't draw another land, and I don't know how we're getting ourselves out of that anyway. The Gust should be good here. The explosives are at least worth consideration because we could potentially, at some point, kill not only their early mana ramp, but a Utopia Sprawl. The thing is, and I've kind of thought about this before, you're not going to hold an engineered explosives early. You really just want to kill the. You really just want to kill a If if they have a mana ramp creature, you want to kill it right away. So let's see. So what isn't good? Geist isn't great against Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay, these are definitely worth actually bringing in because that can help us get rid of Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. Yeah, I don't want Queller. Unfortunately, I think Dispel is something we have to consider because of Boil. Here, look at this. Hold on. This just shows one game where I got cast Boil, Dispelled Boil. It's 3 minutes later. Cast Boil, you don't see a counter, so I got boiled. And then cast Boil, Dispelled Boil. Cast Boil, it resolved. It was actually against this deck too. So 4 boils, 1 match, not exactly great. Okay. I think we want the swords, and I think we want the Batter Skull. Spell Snare I like for Ren and 6. We can't really trim on the removal. I don't think Click is amazing. Maybe we want to keep that Geist because it is a threat that they have trouble interacting with, I think. Maybe we just want to do something like this. We have our Gusts as kind of counters, and they can also remove creatures. I don't really like pathing them, but maybe just do this. Trim on some Helixes. Path's also a good answer to Seasoned Pyromancer, I feel. I think this might be worth keeping because, well, it has an answer to early ramp if we want it, but it also has this, and these can get island and plains, which is interesting. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna keep this. It'll start with Flooded Strand. The fact that we're on the play too does mean that we can potentially play this explosives and get more value out of it earlier, obviously. Let's see. What are they gonna play? I'm gonna ignore what I said earlier, and I'm gonna see if we can get a 2-for-1 out of this Engineered Explosives. So I think what we're going to do here is go ahead and get a Steam Vents, bolt this thing, and then we're going to get... It's more important, I feel like, to get Island first because we did bring in the Aether Gusts. Play this for 1. No. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. Huh. X is currently 1. Alright, a 3-for-1 isn't bad. They could go like land, Blood Moon, be kind of annoying. Maybe not though. They only played one. Okay, that's not so bad. What do we do there? I think we go ahead and get our. Land Bloodbraid Elf is what I'm a bit worried about. I think we put this bolt on top. And we plus. Probably maybe planning to bounce this Clothis next turn. If he plays Blood Moon, we can bounce it with this. Okay, Run at 6 is a good card. There's a lot of tells in Magic, and that pause there does make me wonder, like, if he was like, okay, I got to change my plan because now there's a Teferi on the battlefield. If he's double bolting the Teferi, then I'm like really, yeah. So that makes me even more think that he's trying to unlock his Bloodbraid Elf. So we know we're drawing the bolt. We're still getting the island, the plains rather. This can ping our Jace, but I think it's still worth playing Jace and brainstorming. Valakut Awakening, another island. I think I'm going to put them like this. And then we'll brainstorm again and see what we can shuffle away. He could play a dragon, which would be a bit unfortunate. I wouldn't be surprised if he just cracks that immediately. We can beat this. We're looking for something like a Batter Skull. So we know we're going to draw the island. We're going to brainstorm. And we have the Scalding Tarn to shuffle things away. So this is Seasoned Pyromancer. Are we just playing it out? That's fine. You know, I actually think what we're going to do is Ren and 6 will shoot our Teferi. I don't think that really matters so much because basically we can play an island, which helps further insulate us from any Blood Moon effects. Play out this Teferi, and then put 1, 2, 3, 4 cards on the bottom. That seems pretty good. 1, 2, 3 cards on the bottom. Well, we're going to draw from Teferi. Let's do that. Oh no, sorry, we have to put cards back. I'm not thinking. So I guess if we were going to do that, we I think we put these back. Do this. I meant to put back that sword. No, I didn't. I planned to... I'm lying. I'm not lying, but I just misspoke. I think we just Valakut Awakening, because we're going to Valakut Awakening, put these two back, draw 3, and then I think we see more cards that way. Let's try that. This we draw and we scry. But the thing is, we might just draw into a way to get this sort of Fire and Ass back out of our library if we really wanted it. Yeah, I knew we were going to kill that. Any order. We can bounce that again. Oh, you know what? We can actually bounce the Klothys and then bolt the Wrenn and 6. And what do we want to shuffle away? I kind of want to keep a Dispel. We don't have another red. So I like. Okay, hold on. Let me think for a second. Because what my plan is if he decides to go and crack this, I want to kill that Wrenn and 6. So let me think. Probably. So I need this. Don't need that. And I don't need that. Okay, so I think we go put these back, and then play this and bolt that. Okay, pass. I guess I can kill this Wrenn and 6 either way with the Snapcaster Mage. Boil? Magus? That's annoying because it blocks our guy. I think I was supposed to fetch there, actually. I was supposed to do something with that on the stack. Okay, okay. Gust is good. I think we upkeep this. We are kind of brainstorm locked. Actually, I guess we can cycle this, can't we? I kind of would almost rather. So if we gust the Ren in 6, we know that we can. We can spell snare it, but that means we're also going to go to 4 from this. We're really looking for like Stoneforge Mystic and a Batter Skull, I think. I think the more immediate threat is the Clothis. Oh wait, why did I do that now? He's just going to draw it. I meant to do that at the draw step, not the upkeep. And then he still gets the trigger. Oh, that was a punt. That was a punt for sure. I've done this before, and I've learned the mistake, but I just made it again. Oops. That was stupid. All right, so obviously we are going to go ahead and so we know he's going to crack the relic. I guess he would have because we're going to make him crack the relic. He would have. What I think we want to at least get the bolt or the gust. I think just the bolt. He has Clothis in hand. Okay. We're going to cycle this Triome. I'm saving the Dispel. That's sweet. Bottom, top. We've already done these guys. Okay, so now at the draw step, we can... We can't. I forgot he sells the relic. I was going to say we can snap Gust. Do we go for it anyway? Yeah, yeah, I think so. He'll crack the relic, but we technically, if we do that, when we play the Stoneforge next turn, we could put a sword of whatever on Snapcaster Mage. What we really want though is Battle Skull. We really need to gain life against this. Once we have a Battle Skull in play, we don't care about the Clothis as much. We have an answer for Ren and 6, an answer for Boil, an answer for a creature in hand. I mean, I still feel like we're doing pretty well. We can protect our Jace from a bolt. Yeah, I think we're just getting Battle Skull with the oh, kind of that was one small interaction I didn't think of, but that was actually somewhat reasonable. By going for the Aether Gust and making him exile, he can't exile anything with Clothis, so he doesn't get any value out of it. Alright, this is going to go like my other games. This is taking so long. I feel like I got to check the map and see where my wife is, because I feel like, you know, once the kids come home and everything, I'm not going to be able to do this. Are we still in game 1 too? I think that's worth spell snaring. Goes to the graveyard at that point. We have an answer for the ooze. Question is, do we bounce Clothis with Teferi? And the reason I'm wondering is this Clothis. I think we might actually. Let's do this. That's like seems kind of reasonable actually. Put these back. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's go ahead and play this. Get our Batter Skull. Bounce that. Draw a card. Drew another Stoneforge. It's kind of interesting. Play. Maybe we just want to play Batter Skull actually. Kind of weird sequencing. I technically could have attacked with Snapcaster Mage first. I don't know that matters. Maybe we don't want to show him the Geist of St. Traft. That was game 2, right? Yeah, that was game 2. Yeah, because the first game we just had to concede and didn't really do anything. So that went pretty well. I mean, it was very long, but I still think we need the dispels. I'm not going to change anything. And by the way, the reason I got Feast and Famine over Fire and Ice was, at first my plan was to I was going to do Feast and Famine, make him discard the Scavenging Ooze, and then play Geist. But then I was like, well, I don't even think we need to play the Geist, and then we're just giving him more information. He doesn't necessarily know that Geist of St. Traft's in our deck. I don't know if that would change any of his decisions, but it might. My family is... Oh, they're not all the way back yet, are they? Yeah, I think they are. So, limited time. Helix, oh, too late. Yeah, Helix actually seems somewhat reasonable against some of their cards. His hand's great. Snap keep. That's interesting. We actually, I'm thinking back to the last game, we brainstormed a lot. It took a lot of brainstorming to actually kill him. Yeah, I think so, and I think we just put back the Batter Skull. Like, I'm not thrilled, but and I don't like how we don't have any fetches to get any of our basics to kind of insulate us against Blood Moon. We have all these Aether Gusts, which, I mean, it can't be that bad. I mean, we can even just... We can deal with the Blood Moon with those, but we could also just let it resolve, float our mana, bounce it. It doesn't really matter. It's the same exact thing. Gust it on the stack. We also have an answer to Boil, which I really like. As you can see, like, I don't know how many... I think these decks are running 3 Boils in the side. I mean, as you saw in the screenshots, I've been boiled 4 times in one game by this deck. Actually, there was a while there where my only 4 ones in the league were... like, I've had 3 or 4 ones where my loss was Boil. It's interesting. We really want to find a... He's gonna play... Oh, okay, so do nothing makes me wonder, okay, is this a Blood Moon hand? Is this a Boil hand? I do think we're on the Geist plan. The reason there I really wanted an island was because if we had, say, got a Flooded Strand, we could have gotten an island. If you... One red. I was going to say, if he Blood Moons is here, we could bounce the Blood Moon, play Geist. Well, that's an easy spell snare. So he did make a land. I think we just play the Geist, and what we really don't want him to do is we don't want him to go land Boil. I mean land Blood Moon. But I think we have to try and capitalize on his stumble with as much pressure as we can muster, and this is it. But land Blood Moon without an island could also just be death for us. Okay, so now we're probably winning. Just like the old days, boys and girls. Two more attacks. 2 red. Yeah, that's fine. I think if he plays Bone Crusher Giant, nothing. Yeah, this is... I'm actually almost tempted to path our... No, I'm not going to path anything. I'm just going to keep everything that we have. No, you know, I think I am. It doesn't even matter at this point. We have 2 gusts in hand. There's nothing you can do next turn. I mean, obviously prefer not to win because our opponent got mana screwed, but I'll take it, especially if it involved beating somebody about the face with Geist of Saint Traft. So, all right, well, this worked out. It barely worked out, but it worked out. Family's not home yet. I get a few precious minutes to get back onto my Christmas card duties. We won with Geist in the end, so you know that's always warming to my heart. Yeah, nothing to really complain about. Sorry, opponent, that you got mana screwed. I just looked over at my recording and I thought it said pause, and I was like, I've done it again. I ruined the hour that I invested into this. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't really have anything else to say. Interestingly, I'm just thinking that Arid Mesa there, I much rather that it would have been a polluted Delta. I mean, it did get a Plains, but because we're not running Celestial Purge, the one thing I'm thinking about is we have all these Aether Gusts now, no more Celestial Purges. And one thing we needed we always wanted, obviously, a Plains, but the one real reason we wanted it was because against Blood Moon decks, a lot of times we were bringing Purge in. That being said, though, we actually have 8 ways. We have 8 ways to get a basic island. So, but in some ways, what I was going to say is island is more important now because we can always gust. And this happened before. Like, I've gotten a basic island and nothing else, drawn an Aether Gust, and was able to bounce the Blood Moon. And then once it was off the battlefield, it was great because then I was like, fetch, island Plains, and we were set. And the one thing I will say about this mana base, the fact that we don't have Cryptic Command, kind of means that it's so much easier, like especially in some matches where we're boarding out our Jaces, like against the red aggressive decks or the red like grindy deck with Seasoned Pyromancer, they play main deck Blood Moons. We're just getting rid of these anyway, and we can operate just fine with 1 island in Plains. I mean, obviously it'd be great to have 2 islands, but 1 island in Plains is we're more resilient, I feel like, to Blood Moon than at other times in the past. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot, guys, girls, friends, people, persons, pronouns. I'll see you later. Bye. I am once again playing with fire. One of my kids is napping. The other is watching a show. My wife's off for a run. I have a leg of lamb in the oven. That's probably too much. I just really want to record a match. Maybe it'll be a fast one. We'll see. I don't know how this is going to look for you guys, because I'm recording in 4K, and I don't know what it's going to look like when it finally gets compressed down by YouTube, but I guess we'll see. Okay, let's just roll with this. Let's see. This is definitely a keep. We even have some insulation against Blood Moon, should that come up. I always forget to check if there's a companion. I don't think it would have mattered. Definitely going to get our Triome. Let's see, what Misty Rainforest. Breeding Pool. Noble Hierarch. Utopia Sprawl. Okay, I still think that could be a Uro type deck. I'm going to get a Feast and Famine. We have a second creature. Well, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that they'll kill our that they would kill our. What color did they pick? Red. Okay, yeah. Let's not get the Batter Skull, simply because I think there is a reasonable chance. I think Feast and Famine. Just pass. What if we get to ferried here? What are we going to do? Oh, we're not. We're getting Ren and Sixth. Ren and Sixth? No. We're not. I don't know what's happening. Blood Moon? I'll take a land, I suppose. Here's a curious decision. I think we just jam to fairy. Maybe it's not that curious after all. Do we bounce a sprawl? No, I think we just plus. Then we hope that we can resolve a click to fairy. Okay. Oh, this is banned. I wonder if this is like banned ephemerate type. Hopefully we're not just dead. So the Eternal Witness, get back Time Warp. They can't cast Time Warp, but they could Eternal Witness and ephemerate. Man, I wanted a quick match. I expect a Screaming Child at any moment. Ooh. I feel like we should click now, because if we untap and our opponent has like a cryptic command or some way to interact, like to counter our Vendilion click, we don't have anything going on. So that's gonna... Oh, that's really curious. I think we take the Time Warp, and then we path Omnath. We take Time Warp, path Omnath. I think we can stop our click dying. We have to take something. The thing is, I don't really want him to plus to fairy so much. Let's try that. We'll just take that. And as soon as Omnath hits the battlefield with his triggers on the stack, we're just going to path. Hope that's good enough. Untap, put a sword on Vendilion, click. Kind of wish I'd gotten... I sort of wish I'd gotten a... Fire and Ice at this point, but... So we don't know what is in his hand. Let's see what we draw, but I feel like slightly inclined not to equip the sword because we're going to attack Teferi anyway, and it looks like we're getting our click path, so now we don't really have anything going on. We're probably dead. Unless maybe we can draw like a Geist of Saint Traft, or... it's kind of interesting. Do we just fire that off on these two lands? I think we want... The Maybe we just put these two back. A bolt would... he's got a cryptic... Okay, okay, he's cycling. Well, that's kind of good for us. If we draw... Well, we can play a Geist... Actually, maybe we just hit all three back. That's what I'm going to do. I guess there's no reason not to at least plus on one of his Utopia Sprawls. It's a bit silly. That card looked really good there. We also drew a Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, time. Okay, well, we're... Oh, jeez. Alright, well... I think if I had foreseen him doing that, I think maybe the right thing would have been to... Maybe to click at his... Instead, click at his draw step. If he plays an Eternal Witness... If he takes another turn... Well, I guess we'll just play it out, but... Jeez. Okay, let's plus... oh, now I have to charge my thing. I'm just wondering, do we Serum Visions? I think we probably Serum Visions now. Or maybe what we did, let's see, we have this, we can... I think it's just, we just... None of this is getting countered. I'm going to get a Sword of Fire and Ice. I think we want to keep these. Now, question is, do we draw step click? I mean, the thing is, he can deal with any of our permanents right now with Teferi, but I think he could do a lot of high impact stuff, like as far as like, let's see, Remand Path. So actually, I think we let him. We have a Helix on top. I don't think. Do we want to give him a draw? Like, no, I don't think so. I think we just... I don't think we take anything. He's going to get a draw with Teferi. I hope that doesn't get another Mystic Saint. We already plussed once. So we don't have the Helix now, but... That's kind of interesting. Does it matter what lands we tap? I don't think it does. Obviously, we're not going to tap that one. So I think we have to. I feel like we have to attack Teferi. Maybe I made a mistake there, not taking Path, because Sword plus Helix, we could have dealt with this Teferi. Now we have to attack Teferi. Otherwise, his -3, he gets to tuck our sword. If he tucks our sword and gets rid of our Teferi, it's still not great for us, but. If he deals with our Stoneforge Mystic, we're going to flash and Snapcaster Mage. He's about to play Teferi. Man, we're asking a lot from our sword. Omnath. But I think we were supposed to path with that on the stack. Because he's going to blow up our Teferi. That was bad. Well, I'm surprised he didn't crack in response, because I think it would have triggered again. I'm going to attack him and shoot Teferi. Kind of hope we draw a bolt or something. We did. Teferi down. Plus pass. This Mana Leak is not really a card at this point, I think. What am I supposed to do here? Because he's at 8. And we're... Oh, you know what? We could have killed him. I'm not even thinking. I shot the fairy. That was 3, 4, 5, 8 with the bolt. Oh, but we didn't know we were going to draw that bolt. We... I wonder if I should have done... I should have done that instead. I feel like we have to snap path. That could be totally wrong, but... Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me answer him in a... Alright. I don't know that we should have won that game or not, but Okay, so against this deck, okay, these seem great. I think the dispels are good. I think the even mind sensors are reasonable. I like spell queller. In theory, I like spell queller. But they do have interaction, so that's something to think about. I don't like cleansing wildfires as much because if they ever resolve a Ren and 6, we're not really, you know. If they trigger, why Magic Online? Just let me put them somewhere else. Okay, fine. The helixes seem bad. The bolts seem not good. All the removal just doesn't seem stellar. If we do this, what do we look like? We have 59 cards. Good. Gust, Leaks, Remands, Swords, Clicks, Even Mind Sisters, Geist. All this I feel pretty good about. Maybe we bring in a... Well, you know... Really, it's getting rid of actually those Omnaths that helped us win. It just feels so bad to path them, but I don't think... I mean, we do have the Gust. That is going to help. Maybe even Mind Sensor is like... No, that seems like it's got to be good. It seems like it's got to be all right. Maybe we don't need the 2 swords, although we can make the Titan on turn 3. Mana Leaks are like just all right, I guess. Actually, maybe we trim on Mana Leaks, simply because the main reason is like if they're if they ramp in the beginning, our Mana Leaks I feel like can go outside of Teferi, like they can they can ramp pretty hard. Maybe that's for Planeswalkers. I'm not sure this is right. Let's give this a try. I'm gonna keep. I don't know that this is good enough, but I think we're gonna try it. This might have been a mulligan because we have no real way to keep them from resolving any early spells, but it's kind of annoying. Kind of like that. That card is so ridiculous. Aether Gust, Remand would be great draws here. Click's a good draw. Ouch. God, Remand would have been sick. Leak would have been good there too, to be fair. Maybe Leak is pretty good. Oh no, that's my timer. I'll be back. I have to go. I have a leg of lamb cooking. Hold on. Huh. Okay. So I guess he's gonna put Time Warp on top. Ouch. I burned myself in my Great Rush. I wonder if I'm supposed to flash in Snapcaster Mage to pressure Teferi. I'm gonna do it. I don't know if that's even right, but we're gonna try that. Okay, do we slam Geist? Because certainly a Time Warp is... No, you know, I think we're gonna shock this in and pass. Because certainly Time Warp's going on top. That's my guess, and I think we gotta try and, like, interact with that. Surprising. If nothing else, trying to if he just passes here, if nothing else, trying to like. Oh, looks bad against Ren at 6. Like, another time warp. Do we cast, click, and respond? Okay, that. Well, there's not a lot we can do about that. I think we click now. Geist, unfortunately, is not great against Omnath. Man, I feel like we need to keep in those paths. We can take the time warp. We could also try and Jace bounce on that. I don't think either of these things are going to work. I mean, I think, you know, if he knew, like he wouldn't do this if he didn't feel like he could protect his. I think we're just gonna click at his draw step. Although I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I feel like this had to be like planned for. Okay, rude. And he can time warp. Oh, Lord. All right, I am 6 cards in hand. Time warp to fairy. That's too much. I think we might actually need these and these, and at least get better on the play anyway. The bolt didn't seem bad. We actually probably we might have been able to kill that Teferi. It might have been just totally bad on my part not to, once we've went ahead and attacked it, to not kill it. These Aven Mind Sensors, maybe they're just not high impact enough, quick enough. These all seem pretty good. I would really like to have a couple of these in, though. Can we just cut these? Is that wrong? Dispels, snares, bolts, I mean... We could arguably trim a Snapcaster Mage, just because we've taken out... it's like one of our main ways to get value back, though. Like, we don't have the 4 bolts and everything. We don't have as many like cost-efficient targets for it, I guess is what I'm saying. What if we did this? I'll try that. That could be wrong to cut snap, but everything else also seems really good. I'm going to keep this. Gosh, I got like the hardest one of the hardest matchups I'll be able to play is my try to squeak a game in. Remand. Aether Gust. I wonder if he was thinking about Tefaring, and then he thought, oh no, I better do that with mystical stuff back up. Passing. If he plans to play Teferi next turn with mystical, is that right? So if he doesn't do anything, we're gonna put Geist on the stack with the spell backup. If he plays a Teferi, we're actually gonna leak it. If he does nothing at all, we're gonna cast Click, and if it gets countered, that's fine. He could have done anything. Okay. I feel like we just take Teferi. Or maybe we take nothing. No, I think we want to press our advantage. I think we want to Geist into play. Thing is, if we untap and actually no, maybe I don't think we take anything actually, because there's no way to take care of this Click. We can start clocking it. Maybe if we take, we have. So if we untap and we Geist, he can play. Well, Teferi doesn't really do much for him. He can Time Warp. Teferi doesn't do much because, you know, actually I don't think we take anything. I think we take nothing, and I think we plan to we wait a turn on. Conversely, we could just Jace. No, I don't think we take anything. That was a really good draw. That was really good, because now next turn if he... We do need to draw land, but now next turn if he Uros, we get to Queller it, and we still have a Dispel for backup. I mean, pretty much anything he plays, I think we're Quellering. Not that. We have on a pretty quick clock. I'm not playing Geist here because I think I just better to hold up our counter magic. Sweet. Okay, great. Well, we had the Dispel obviously, but the other reason to do this, knowing that he has the Teferi, is because we have the Snapcaster Mage. And if we were to draw something like another island, then we can go Snap Mana Leak with backup as well. Okay, so that was. I'm glad we won, but I do think feeling a bit under time pressure because like now the wife's back and I have to get back to like my duties. But the fact that I tried to squeeze a game in, I definitely was like trying to like play I think faster than I normally would in combination with talking and everything else. But anyway. I'm glad that happened though, because this is sort of what I was talking about, like these impactful, these impact, like with the power level of modern, those sort of those four creatures, being able to swap those in and out as needed for things that are better or worse in certain matchups, and then being like really impactful cards in the right matchup as well as good sword carriers. I think like Spell Quellerin and Uro, you know, was really good, and then also Click is good in the matchup, and just I like that, being able to like slot those in and out. So okay, well that was match 2, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, so move my microphone. Game match 3. It's 10:30. See if I can get a game in. A little tired, but I think I'll be okay. There's not really a great time for me to do any of these on the weekend or during the week. There's not any real time. I guess while I'm supposed to be working is probably the best time. All right. Yeah, we'll play first. Turn 1, do nothing. Turn 2, Stoneforge. It's not a great hand, really. I mean, we have a threat in this thing. I mean, if we're playing against something like Amulet Titan, it's not terrible. I think we just keep it. I mean, Stoneforge is one of our best cards in the deck. Although, could be right to mulligan. Just thinking. Yeah, I think we get to just play Tarn. We can't get our mountain anyway because it's in our hand. Oh, Boggles. Well, it doesn't really matter what. I guess we have engineered explosives now. See, what is our best bet here? Let's see what we draw. I guess it just has to be Batterskull. But it's gonna get outclassed incredibly quickly by Glade Cover Scout, which makes me not want to get it. Like, I mean, making it pro green, but then it'll get trample, and so everything will just trample over. I mean, I thought about Feast and Famine because then in theory, like, so next turn he puts an Umbra and something else. We untap. We're just not really doing anything that turn either. Then he puts Daybreak Coronet, gains a bunch of life. I think that gives it first strike too. In that case, our Batterskull isn't good enough. And our Feast and Famine is... Like, the thing with Feast and Famine is then we can attack and start, like, getting his auras out of his hand, their hand. But it's really, like, not that amazing because we're just making him discard an aura or something, his worst card, and then he draws a random. I mean, none of this is really great. I guess for the moment we just have to hope he doesn't... I mean... I think we get Batterskull, but it probably just doesn't matter all that much. See, it's already, like I was saying, our Batterskull already is like going to do nothing. If we had a Spell Snare, we would have an awkward answer to Daybreak Coronet. And then we could Yeah, he plays David Cornett. We spell snare. It's probably what he's thinking about, or possibly if it doesn't get vigilance, I mean that's at least a small something. That's kind of interesting. I mean, Teferi just doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, maybe we'll bounce something, but I don't know that it's worth taking 2 life. So 7. This gains 4. That takes us to 7. We could then block with Stoneforge. I mean, bouncing these does nothing. I'm going to block with Stoneforge Mystic, play a Geist. So we're going to go to 8. I mean, the next attack is a lethal one. But like any enchantment and we're dead. And actually even like if we just have to fetch to get, if we have something to spell snare. Oh, are we just, no, we're not dead. But he's got a lot of blockers. So we're obviously going to take 7. Oh, we can't bounce the Dryad. This is one area where having Cryptic Command would be good. We can't fetch this Scalding Tarn either. I guess Bolt might get it done. That's interesting. I think the play is literally attack, Valakut's Awakening, discard everything. Let's try this. It's going to be so funny if we somehow win this game that way. One, okay. Does it really matter? Well, we definitely want to keep white and red in case it's Helix. It's just one bolt, so I guess it's this, this, cast. Oh, wait. It needs to be red. My bad. This. Cast. This. Any order? How is it possible we didn't draw a bolt? Come on. Shit. I guess we still get one more shot. Actually, yeah, we can still... Well, let's see. If we fetch this... I actually think we should do it with the... Well, so if we fetch and go down to 6, then even if we throw a Snapcaster Mage or any of these 1 toughness creatures in front of this... we're dead. If we pass and he has nothing, which he hasn't had anything before, but like how freaking likely is it that he doesn't have 1 aura? Can we, like, we've been fading a bunch of draw steps, but like how many can we reasonably... I seriously can't believe that we didn't draw a bolt. And Serum Visions is going to be such a random draw because it's not an opt. But you know what we could do, actually? We can... Oh, but we don't gain life because it has First Strike. I was saying we could block with Geist, but it has First Strike, so we don't even gain life. I think we... So he Serum Visions and then snap Serum Visions, but... We don't have enough mana to snap Valakut either. Tanking hard over here. I think we pass. And I think the... that doesn't really... Well, I've already passed. Let's see. If he goes to combat, then I think we're in reasonable shape because we're just going to flash in a Snapcaster Mage and block. Uh-oh. He wants to cast something. Ooh. Okay, so he gains 8 and goes to 11. If we block the Boggle, this is bad. If we block the Boggle, we gain 6, go to 13, we take 8, he goes to 11, we crack back for 10. Isn't this kind of the same thing, though? I guess I just can't do math. What did I do wrong there? Oh, first strike. Okay, well, what was our next draw? Well, it was gonna go okay. Well, the one thing I thought about doing was I forgot about the first strike. It's gonna hit us before. Yeah, okay. So the one thing I was gonna try to do was to basically the what I. So what would have happened? Well, it's hard to say what would have happened with that Sarah Visions. What I was going to do before I just punted that, I think we were dead anyway. I was going to Vendilion click ourselves, tuck a card, and see if we could bolt him. But, so I think that's obviously what he wanted me to do, was to try to block that, just thinking I'd forget about the first strike, which I did. So this is good, and this is good, and this is good, and this is good. And he does have some green cards, some Umbras. I mean, we have so little that interacts. It's obviously like no surprise. I've hated this matchup for ages, ever since I've had to play it with Jeskai. The Helix has gained a little life. I guess. I mean, I was just thinking, even if we'd flashed the Snapcaster Blades to block, I guess the right thing to do. Well, no, because if we had blocked with the Geist, we would have taken less damage. He still would have gained 8, and then we were never killing him on the crackback. Yeah, I'll play first. Mulligan. Keeping. Putting back this and this. Alright, so we're looking for engineered explosives, and we want this spell snare for his turn 2, if he plays a turn 2 Daybreak Coronet. This can get a mountain or a plains. So maybe we just want this to get Hollowed Fountain. Or do we want to, yeah, I'll just do like, I think if we get Steam Vents with it, then this gets, it's all kind of the same thing, I think. Remand's kind of interesting. I think just bottom. I mean, we have like one piece of interaction in the deck. I think we need to try to find it. No turn 2 play. That's interesting. So, I mean, no turn 1 play. So he doesn't have a Boggle. He's going to try and play his Core Spirit Dancer, which I think costs 2. So I think we'll just bolt that. I'm just going to play the Mountain because I did put some cards on the bottom. We're eventually going to have to shuffle with the Stoneforge Mystic, but at least those cards stay on the bottom, and we get another draw step. This is the only thing I can think is that he's going to play Core Spirit Dancer to try to draw some cards. Unless there's just something I don't know about. Yeah, so we didn't keep many of these in, but... Ooh, okay, we're passing. There's a chance. There's a chance if he only has, like, a Boggle in hand. Another one. Ugh. We're gonna have to. We're gonna. That's so annoying because now. Well, we're gonna spell snare that. Hopefully he just gets worried that we have a mana leak for a Boggle here or something. I've lost to this card. Like if he's allowed to resolve one of those and starts playing stuff, we will definitely die to it. Would he have played a Boggle there if he had one? Well, now we can potentially keep him from playing a Boggle, so I think we just keep going here. We want one land. That actually makes our mana leak better. He doesn't have one. Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, what eventually I want to draw land, play Stoneforge Mystic, and keep up mana leak. I'm just gonna keep passing. He banked pretty hard on that on those Core Spirit Dancers. To play this Queller, I mean, it's like that's 3 interactive. This is. I think we can discard a Jace. We don't really care about Jace in this matchup. Okay, so now that we drew a land, I don't think he's holding multiple Boggles. I'm going to get the Batter Skull because I feel like we can most easily put a threat into play while holding up some counter magic. Another Core Spirit Dancer. I'm just going to assume he doesn't have a Boggle because he hasn't played one. Unless he plays one now, what can I do about it? Nope. Ooh. I think I'm in with that. Maybe that was wrong. Only because we really want to put the Batter Skull into play this turn. So now, like, if he plays anything and we leak, we don't get to put the Batter Skull in play. Oh, don't tell me you have Veil of Summer. Thank God. Oh, man. I mean, we're still gonna. It's so unlikely that I think we win this. The match. All right, sweet. I didn't get a Feast and Famine because he has so many cards in hand. I guess he could have Artifact Interaction. Like, I'm never, like, really whittling his hand down. I think I'd rather just kill him as fast as possible. Land is great. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I think we'd actually just do it with this. kind of surprised that he waited to now to draw that. Or to play that. I guess for full value. I think we queller that. Obviously, well, I don't think we are going to queller that. So even if he plays a Boggle at this point, we can put a Batter Skull onto Spell Queller. I mean, winning game 2 is huge because it does give us a chance at drawing something like... Oh, it's here, yeah. It's exile 1 green card. That's actually not bad. Like, you're killing 2 artifacts and losing 2 cards. I haven't really seen Force of Vigor recently. That's pretty good, though. Okay. I think he's boarding in more of his core Spirit Dancers. So much of our deck is pointless. I'm actually thinking Geist is... Well, Geist looked good that game, but these aren't good. Maybe we just want the... Maybe we don't want to go... Well, maybe the Helixes aren't bad. It's probably better than Jace. Let's just run this. Okay. Mulligan. Of course he keeps 7. I'm gonna mulligan. Like this we're just... He kept 7. He has a Boggle, obviously. He has... Like, I'd be shocked if he doesn't have a Boggle. Again, I've never... The times that I've seen them not play a turn 1 Boggle. In fact, you could argue that even though he had all those core Spirit Dancers, it was just incorrect not to keep a hand with turn 1 Boggle. I mean, if he... Think of it this way. If he had like mulliganed and kept a hand with turn 1 Boggle, he probably would have won that game. So, assuming he has a hand with turn 1 Boggle, we're just not gonna win with this hand. So I feel like we have to try to mulligan again into an Engineered Explosives, which we did, and I think this hand's better. I think if he's smart, he'll play his Umbras first. We're not waiting till turn 3. We're going to play... let's see here. Like, if we go Serum Vision's turn 1. He goes Boggle. We go Serum Vision's turn 1. He untaps... They always play the Umbra first. That's just what you do for this reason. You really need, like, 2 explosives, or you need a way to bounce the Umbra. Like, the one possible chance that we could have is to... So, I'm just talking myself to, like, what I'm keeping. So, I think I'm actually going to get... I'm going to play this on turn 1. I'm going to keep this up on turn 2. So, I think I'm going to get rid of the Mystic Sanctuary and the Serum Visions. And if I draw another land, like, maybe I can do something with this Valakut's Awakening. But, like, assuming he plays an Umbra, which it's most likely that he will, the other benefit to playing Explosives on turn 1 is, yes, he sees it, but if by, like, he could force a Vigor it, which would be terrible, but everything's terrible for us in this matchup. So, like, you know, I feel like if we keep it, like, let's say we do Serum Visions, by the time we could play it and crack it, I feel like he's actually, I don't know, now I'm questioning myself. Maybe, you know what, actually, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to keep these cards here and get rid of these 2 lands. And I'm going to Serum Visions. I think I am going to Serum Visions on turn 1. And I'm going to look for more interaction than just this Engineered Explosives. We also can then see what he does. Need to go to bed. I really would have liked to have finished this league tonight, but I think this is going to be my only match. Boggle. Maybe I still play the explosives on turn 1 actually. I think I do. Well, what I was worried about by doing that was Force of Vigor. Like because that's something they hadn't had access to in the past, so that made me feel a bit reticent. Maybe I still feel that way. Yeah, okay. Let's Man, I've used a lot of time against Boggles. It should be a really fast matchup. I guess I've just been really trying my best to find a way to win against the impossible matchup. Huh, he didn't play an Umbra. Oh, he's gonna play a Core Spirit Dancer, which we're gonna bolt. There's our 3rd land. That's really good. Ah, that's so annoying. We have to kill it. We have to kill it. I really want to hold up Mana Leak for an Umbra. Come on, just don't play an Umbra. Okay. I passed because what was my thinking exactly? I guess my thinking was, well, maybe they'll play another Boggle. And I'm thinking I have a Mana Leak for something like an Umbra. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with the Ethereal Armor. But it doesn't really, it really only matters if he plays a Boggle, because the Ethereal Armor, we will blow them up, but he's just drawing cards. If we draw a Bolt, we can do both. We don't. That would have been great, though, because we could have then killed it, and we would have been in a much better situation. But he can just go all in on Core Spirit Dancer, because he's drawing a card for every enchantment that he plays. There's the Umbra. We got rid of... it's funny. I've actually lost to this deck before. This is ages ago. Oh, we're dead. I've lost to this deck in the past by not being able to kill a really large Core Spirit Dancer. Well, that's unfortunate, but... we're not really beating Boggles anyway. Now I feel bad that I tried so hard and I'm subjecting you guys to 35 minutes of struggling to beat what we're really unlikely to beat. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe I'll go for one more. Well, I'm going to end this one and then I'll decide. But for you, it's going to be immediate anyway by the time I upload all these, so it doesn't matter. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Oh, I am feeling tired. Welcome to another Great Nate Jeskai. I'm not restarting. Go away. Welcome to another Jeskai oriented Magic the Gathering Modern video by me, Nathan. We rode bikes from where we live in South London over to Wimbledon, which really is not far at all. But there's a few hills, and I rode our cargo bike, it's a two-wheeler. It's got a big wooden box, 2 children inside, a big rain cover, which makes it hideously inefficient in the wind. It is a beast it is a tiring thing to ride. So my boys are watching a little Christmas thing, and I'm taking a little break to myself. So here we are. By the way, I wanted to say, like, I'm just sort of playing Magic and bringing you guys with me. Like, if I was really concerned with how well I was doing with content, I might wait till I wasn't feeling kind of groggy and tired. But if I with the limited time I have to do this, I'm never gonna have that time to be like, hey, this is my 3 hours to sit and play through this league at an optimal time when it's not late and I haven't been with the kids all day or whatever, put the kids to bed. It's just never going to happen. It's always going to be like when I can squeeze it in. So, it just is what it is. I have to make the best of it. I guess I'll keep this. It would be better on the play for sure. Okay. Then I think I'm just going to go ahead and get our Triome. Oh no, not again. Not again as in, I forget, we played against an Uro deck before we lost to Boggles, and I don't want to play against another one. I guess we better shock here. Mainly, like, I don't just want to play it tapped and have him play a Teferi. Gonna shock again. Ooh. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna start with click on their end step. I don't know that it will resolve, but especially with them missing land drops, it could have been right to just slam Geist, but probably not. I think I'm going to try to clear the way. And that's why we didn't want to slam Geist. Guy seems like he's somewhat reasonable in this matchup because, like they could play an Uro now, which gains life, and it definitely is still a good card, but he doesn't block Geist immediately, and if they play a Planeswalker like a Teferi, we can actually just kill it. So this seems like a Uro. So I think we'll start with attacks. We could probably just get an island. We could double Stoneforge, but I want to keep up a mana leak. I think we get a Feast and Famine because that lets us swing at some point. Swing through with. Plus, we get to make a Titan if we want. But that lets us swing through Field of the Dead. We're probably countering whatever they mana leak. I mean, we're probably mana leaking. Okay, sure. Are we bolting? I think we should bolt. Because Geist is 6. We could mana. We have a, not that we want to path. Yeah, I think we want to bolt. Not that we want to path like a Snapcaster Mage if they flash one in, but we could also mana leak Snapcaster Mage. This also has to make them worried because Geist is going to put them to 6. And if they do end up tapping out, we can potentially snap bolt. So I think we just pass. We can't bolt now because but if they play Uro, then we're gonna bolt with Uro on the stack. Sweet. Okay, so Dispels are great. They help fight their counters as well as the card that's not a magic card that they're going to bring in. Probably one of my most despised recent. What is it? Veil of Summer. That card's just ridiculous. It's just can't be countered. Hexproof to your lands from blue and black. If they draw a card, it's just absolutely insane. Like all of these are somewhat reasonable. But we have to take out the helixes don't seem great. The bolts don't seem great. The snares I think are really good. Although I think they're Sultai actually. So the snares are probably still worth considering because blue-green for whatever that card is that ramps them is still super annoying. But we don't need, it's not like the red one, which, maybe it was 4-color. You know what? I'm like, I'm only so much with it right now. I feel like a lot of Magic is muscle memory for me. Most of it is reasonable muscle. Maybe some of that is not, good. But I'm trying to think. I just can't think right now. Like, what else do they have at the 2 minutes? So we probably still went to. We probably still want the Spell Snares, I would guess. So if you take these out, bring these in. God, even Mind Sensor seems like it's pretty. All these cards seem pretty good. We could potentially board out Geist on the draw. Like, that's not totally unreasonable. We could bring in a Cleansing Wildfire. Actually, Cleansing Wildfire seems alright against Field of the Dead if they don't play Ren in 6. Gust, Leak Remand, Dispel, Serum Visions, Spell Snares, Path to Exile. I mean, we have the Field of Ruin. Even Mind Sensor, like an early Even Mind Sensor could be really annoying for them. Click is good. Queller's good. All these other cards are good. They do play a lot of black removal. They might board some out. No, they probably won't because they're afraid of Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe it's wrong to board out Geist, but what else would I take out? I don't know that that's right, but I'm gonna do that because all these other cards seem good. Okay, sure. I'm like not really thrilled with it, but We get to hit all of our land drops. Uh-oh. Our hands got real bad. Our hand got really, really bad. We have one card. One real card, and they know all about it now. It's not going to be very surprising. It's fine. We're just going to make land drops and draw nothing but heat from here on out. We'll save this for a Mystic Sanctuary. If this is an arrow, we'll go ahead and gust it. Feel the Ruin would be kind of cool. Nope. Well, Spellqueller's a lot less good when they know you have a Spellqueller. But if he plays an arrow, we're obviously going to play Spellqueller. That's what it's here for. Now, a Teferi would be sick. 3 cards in hand. Of course, they could have Force of Negation. I think we play this, and I think we... If it resolves, we attack, and I actually think we just bounce the Queller. Yeah, I think we just go for the value play here. I feel like it's just too good because we draw a card, we get a creature back. It's like that's like our weird version of Uro in a way because they're down a card, we're not down a card, and we drew a card, and we have a Planeswalker. It's yeah. It's like probably one of the better things we can do. Although and even if they have that black spell that's destroy, I mean, we might as well just, we can't, that's Abrupt Decay. I was going to say, even if we're going to, blah, 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 talking too much, we're going to put Aether Gust on top. Even if they, right, yeah. And then we... Because you have Spell Snare if they have like Leak or Remand. I was trying to finish the thought before, but I don't remember what I was saying. I was saying something. Oh, even if they have the black spell that kills target Planeswalker, we've already drawn a card with that Planeswalker and gotten back a creature and discarded a card. Like, that's against... If we can set up a sequence like that, I think that's one of our best ways to get advantage. It's kind of annoying. I mean, maybe he has an Uro and he wants to put it in play and he's going to Thoughtseize away our Abrupt Decay, but then he's going to see Sword and be like, oh my god, I guess I got to make him discard Sword. How can I let them have a Sword? Geist ain't trapped. He might have been... If I was going to say if he doesn't discard the Sword, then my assumption is that he just has an answer. Just like the old days, baby. Geist of Saint Trapped. What can I say? What can I say? Oh man, he's looked quite good a couple of times. I'm not gonna lie. I actually, it's interesting. Like, I think the reason he's kind of seemed good is because, and let me pull up the list. I think this is the list. But what I was saying is the reason I think he's looked good or better. Well, he's not that he didn't look. He looked. Let's be honest. When you played him in the right matchups, he looked just as good. I cannot tell you how many times he looked good against the best decks in the format at the time. He was a house against Blue-Red Twin. They had no way to interact with him. And back then, everybody played Electrolyze. So if your plan was to block with Click or Snapcaster Mage, the thing, not to relive those glory days, but I guess I just like to, a lot of people even then would say things like, why would you play Geist when you can just play Twin? And the reasons were Twin was probably one of the, if not the best decks in the format. and against Blue-Red Twin, Grixis Twin was more difficult, but against straight Blue-Red Twin, if you knew what you were doing, you were super favored, because they had to board out some of the combo because you had answers for their combo. And they also all sort of moved to this stage where everybody was trying to resolve a Karanos, which is unfortunately unplayable now. I think that card is sweet, but you can't really go like 5 mana for a Karanos and then have them play Teferi for 3 mana and bounce it. It's like, be terrible. That would be like just one issue. But anyway, everybody's trying to resolve a Karanos, or we're trying to resolve these, like, even Batterskull at one point in time, these expensive spells. You were just trying to resolve a Geist of Saint Draft. So you could sort of get your win condition in way before they couldn't really interact with it, and you could protect it as far as like you could find ways to resolve it much more easily. So it was really good against. He looked great against there. He looked really great against Burn. Obviously, the control decks of the day he was really good against. So he's not like he hasn't looked good before, but I think one of the reasons that he looks good here is because, again, sort of going to these, and if I probably have said this a few times, but I just want to say it again, like, I think the power level of Modern is really high, and it is actually one reason, like, I like Shark Typhoon, but obviously I think, like, for 3 mana, like, what are you getting for 3 mana out of Shark Typhoon? You are getting 1 creature and drawing a card. Okay, like, that's not bad, and it scales really well with the game, but when you're thinking more of like a tempo deck, is that all you want to be doing on your turn 3? All of these Click, Geist, we talked about this last time, so I won't go over it again, but these creatures already do something powerful on their own. And then when you put a sword with them, now I think you're really doing, like all these cards are playable by themselves. But now that you're putting a sword if you're putting a sword on them, now you're actually doing something to me like that's really powerful. They're already good on their own, but I think that's kind of like in some ways that's the way I think of it, is that's what you want to most be doing with Modern, is like or when you think of Modern as this really powerful format, you want these utility sword creatures to not only be good at carrying a sword like a shark token, but also do something in addition to carry a sword. And I think so anyway, that's my sort of roundabout way of basically saying I think one of the reasons Geist is good is because since we're not all in on that plan. There were times I loved being all in on the Geist plan, and there were also times I hated it, because especially when we were more as an all-in burn deck, there were just some matchups where I felt like we're just not good enough as an all-in burn deck. Like, I remember we were playing that deck against Amulet Titan. Your playing wasn't good enough. It just wasn't, like Bolt, Helix, Geist, you especially when they had Summer Bloom, you were dead before that. And that's when that was sort of one of the times when I started trying to move away and bring a bit more counterspells into the deck because we needed them. Now, the key to that matchup was just to run 3 to 4 Aven Mind Sensors in the sideboard. But anyway, since we're not all in on that Geist plan, and we arguably have a better proactive threat that comes in a turn earlier. We talked about that before as well. Stoneforge Mystic. We can take him out when he's not good. We have options. Like, when the matchups that we know he's good in, we have him. We'd like to draw him. Maybe we won't. We won't get flooded with him. And we're just not going to get like Geist flooded in the matchups where he's good or bad. And where he's bad, we can take him out and bring in other stuff. And so in a way, I think that gives him an opportunity to shine because you're not as reliant on him. It's not like when you're playing 4 Geists of Saint Draft and you're playing against a Collected Company deck and you have 2 Geists in your hand and you're just never... they're almost like dead cards because they have too many creatures and it's so difficult to push guys through. So anyway, okay, well that was cool. Thank you very much again for watching, and talk to you guys soon. Alright, so I just recorded that round 4, and I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into round 5, even though it is technically 4:45 and dinner time will be coming soon. I would really like to just get this league in the bag and get it uploading. I did a test upload of something, and the 4K processing took forever. I don't even know if it ever finished. And this is going to be huge because I'm going to string all these matches into one giant file, and the files are ridiculous. Because I'm recording at 4K 60, look, there's like 14 gigs, 15 gigabytes. they're huge, so it's going to take forever to even upload it. Mulligan that hand. Not like this. So he mulliganed to 6. We are on the draw, so that makes me feel a little less bad about a mulligan to 5. I think we keep this and we just put the swords back. Well, I wish I knew what we were playing against. Duh. But because we could... we could keep a sword and try to do... Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to keep... I'm going to keep Feast and Famine. Because, you know, it's not... I don't see a companion. So that makes me think it's not one of like the red aggressive decks. So if I put this back and I put this back, let's just try that. Like maybe it's just a deck that doesn't interact too much and we'll make a turn 4 Titan. Maybe. Botanical Sanctum. This means something. Is this spirits? No. I don't want to play against this deck. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. So this is like Tron artifact stuff. Like, if you have a Stony Silence, you can win this matchup. Or maybe if you had something like a Shatterstorm. But I kind of think without that stuff, no real way to blow up I guess we do have Engineered Explosives now on the board. That could help. Wait, there's no Tron lands though. What is this? Oh. I don't know why. I just saw this and I was thinking... I don't know what I was thinking. Because obviously, at first they said spirits. There's green-blue lands. I'm just tired. But... well, I guess we're just on this plan. I guess I was. This just made me think that artifact token stack, and obviously that wasn't Tron Lance, but I guess there could be one that plays green blue stuff. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm supposed to counter that. Maybe that thing's awesome. I don't know. Okay, so it is kind of like that deck. It's doing the same thing that deck does. We just need to find out a way to kill this Urza. Now what? Oh, you bastard. I guess it's fine. Maybe we can just Helix it? He gets... oh, well that's probably... so what do we do? I think we just... well... we're not... So we can kill the Karn. The Paradox Engine, that's what's going to allow him to go off with all of his artifact mana. So we're going to have to reman that. We can put the Batterskull into play. I think if we just want to be ultra safe, we just Helix Karn. Mana Leak. Well, that's good that we drew that. We still need to find a path to exile for Urza. Like, if we can keep him from resolving this and we can kill the Urza, his things look a lot less good for him. He can probably... 1, 2, well... 1, 2, 3, 4... no, I don't think he can cast it twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three, four. Oh, so he gets to cast it again, I guess. Oh no, he's just. Wait, how does that work? Oh, he has another one in his hand. I see. Okay, well. I'm not sure which one I wish we had, which one we had at this point. He probably just doesn't care. Because he already, I'm guessing he doesn't care because he already has this Paradox Engine in play. I think we play Geist. And maybe we're dead. Because every time you cast something, he just he untaps basically all this stuff. Yeah, we're not beating that. Explosive Quellers. I don't think Geist is good. I think we really need to... There's some things I think we can't... We're not going to be able to really safely tap out against that deck. His little mana rocks and stuff I think we can safely ignore, but Paradox Engine and Urza absolutely have to be countered. It's like not negotiable. So these are reasonable. We can trim some helixes. They're probably not great. The bolts probably aren't great. My guess is he's like an Urza Paradox Engine deck. I don't know about Dispel. Maybe not. Spell Snare? Spell Snare is probably like alright. Like if he plays a Mana Rock for 2, we can probably kill it. I don't know what Mind Sensor really does, but it's a flash threat, so I guess there's that. I don't think Wildfire is that good because like his artifacts are the real mana engine. So is it Dispel or Bolt? I almost want to like just assume he's going to have some number of counters and bring in the Dispels. Like the Metalcraft counter, because I just feel like Boltus doesn't really do a whole lot. So let's try this. Shucks. It's got a leak, which is important. Let's keep that, and let's put one of the snaps back. And then let's go ahead. I think we took out like nearly all of the red cards, so we can just get a Hallowed Fountain here. Turn on Serum Visions feels pretty alright. 2 mana leaks, that's cool. Yeah, I think we just want all of this stuff. So let's just go like that. Yeah, so I think the plan, I think we ignore... We can probably actually Serum Visions this turn. Oh, this thing's actually really annoying. That... I don't... Nah, I just think we ignore it. It is really good, but I think we just have to focus on the payoff spells. The downside, if... Think here for a second. Kind of wish we put the... Sort of wish we could put the Serum Visions on top. So what this does is this puts counters on all of his artifacts and lets him make a lot of mana relatively quickly. And as much as I don't want to counter it, I think I'm going to. Simply because like the mana leaks are what we have right now for interaction. And if we let him, if you give him an easy way to make a ton of mana, these mana leaks go dead really quickly. So that's the plan. So he plays Surge Node, and then he starts putting counters on that. This could just get Veil Summered. Yeah. What a gorgeous card. Card makes me angry. On the flip side, so this has 0 CMC. So if we can find an Engineered Explosives, that's really good for us. Like that. So I think for now we put Sword on the bottom, EE on top, and pass. So now it's not near... Now I just want him to play all of his Mana Rocks out, obviously. I feel like that's a reasonable Remand target. Let's see. Actually, no. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna play this and pass. And I really wish he has like way more all in on this. What I mean is I wish he just had a lot more, you know, of these 0 mana whatever artifacts. Yeah, I think that has to get leaked. Okay, so now this mix. Oh Lord, I'm not prepared to. I've only played against this deck like once, and I'm totally not prepared for it. Obviously. I'm still going to go ahead and play this and just blow it up. do we kill this thing now? We took out our bolts. We're dead. we're just never killing this. And he's got another one of those. Ugh. I mean, cycling remand on that is pretty bad. I think I'm gonna pass and then maybe put a Sarah Visions on top. I mean, we're gonna lose this game though. We don't have any real ways to interact with this. We don't have any real way to interact with this anymore. We took out our bolts. Maybe it was correct to leave some of that in because they do interact with Karn the Great Creator, and I know. I don't know if it was this league or one recently. I played against the Karn Greater. I played against the Karn the Great Creator deck, and the bolts were pretty good. So Urza. These. Oh, okay. We're a little snap flooded. Well, mana leak is not gonna work next turn. So he puts a surge node on this and makes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? Yeah, and he has to spend. Yeah, well, no. Okay, so he has to spend 1 next turn. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So if he plays Urza, but if he plays a land, then we can't mana leak. I think we just put Sarah Visions on top and hold up Snap Remand. I'm not really sure what we're looking for. I mean, I feel like these. Do we keep that on top? Like, because we can. Well, I think if he had Veil of Summer there, he would have cast it. I'm gonna put that on the bottom. I know that if he resolves an Urza, then we can kill it with the Path, but I mean, at the moment, we're just gonna die to a bunch of servo tokens. I mean, I guess one thing we can do against the Saheeli is if we Snap Remand, we can then at least attack it once with Snapcaster Mage. I'm actually going to go for the leak since he didn't play land. So that cannot get a Mystic Sanctuary because now we only have one in the deck. 4 slot of mana. Well, we can snap Mana Leak that again. But he has a lot of cards in his hand. I guess we can beat Thopters with a Batter Skull, actually. Like, we won't die to them. Let's get our Triome. Oh, that's an interesting one. Do we play it for 0? Actually, yeah, I think we play it for 0 and then we kill the Saheeli. I think that's pretty clear. We don't have to. I was going to say play it for 3, but if we play it for 3 and kill the Saheeli, in this case, we take care of all the Suro tokens, take care of this, kill Saheeli. So that was a good draw. Maybe we can claw back into this. Felt pretty bad. We still have a Snapper Mand. That was all of our Mana Leaks. I mean, we're obviously going to Snapper Mand it, but it is moments like this when I wish we had Cryptic Command. Ooh, that's not a bad draw, though. Okay. Do we bring in like a Gust for Saheeli? Maybe one? It's pretty narrow if it's the only card. Maybe it's just something like... I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're really just trying to keep Urza... Like, we're trying to keep Urza from resolving. We are trying to keep Paradox Engine from resolving. Like, that is the thing. How would a Snare look to that game? I don't think it would have looked fantastic. If he plays that Surge node, then he's just playing them all for 0 mana. The only time I think it's good is if he plays Everflowing Chalice for 2 mana. Then I think it's alright. We did see Veil this summer, so I think the Dispels are reasonable. Path? Every time it was in our hand, we even bottomed it. Do we just want no paths? Maybe we have one in case he does resolve an Urza. I mean, I suppose there was a case. I suppose we could make a case where he resolves an Urza, but he doesn't have enough artifacts to activate it. So we're okay. We're pathing it, which we're not excited about. And then either with the Jace or Teferi, we can bounce the construct that it makes. It seems like that could happen. I mean, the other green cards that he's played have just been like Ancient Stirrings, and gusting at Ancient Stirrings like doesn't feel super fantastic. We're losing on mana. He's just gonna put it on top and cast it again. Even Mind Sensor like doesn't seem amazing. I mean, Geist could be good if we draw it late. I suppose there's some world in which we're able to counter what's important. Let's try this, I guess. I mean, the only reason that we won that game is because we drew both, my brain, we drew both engineered explosives. I'm going to keep this. Hi. Yeah, I'm still doing one.
What are you doing?
I'm on the last game. So, maybe like 10-15 minutes. Gotta get back to my duties. I'm keeping this because maybe it might just be too slow, but maybe Mana Leak into Geist, maybe that'll be good enough. Mana Leak into Geist, bounce something. We'll see. Well, he's got that annoying card. Okay, so that little engine's online. I think we're shooting this. Oh, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, if we sack it, he just puts 2 counters on here. He's gonna do that well. If we let him untap with it, he can put a charge counter on it, and then sack it and put more charge counters on it. So maybe it's right to just bolt it. Land gives him access to play stupid Surge Node. Can't even do anything about it. It is also spots like this where I kind of miss having Force Negation in the deck. Do we jam? 3 cards in hand. I'm going to assume he runs like 4 Paradox Engines. I'm jamming. I need to go make dinner anyways. Oh, that's a good reason, but I'm jamming, and I'm obviously hoping that he doesn't have a Paradox Engine, and that if he does have a Paradox Engine, I'm hoping if I bounce it with Teferi Time Reveler that it's good enough. He can't play Paradox Engine this turn. Is he getting Ensnaring Bridge? Interesting. Because we can still attack, kill the Karn. Ooh. Okay. So we have an answer to Ensnaring Bridge whenever we want it with Teferi. I wonder if that was what we call the classic blunder. The angel comes in attacking. It does not attack. Angel cares not for your bridge. Okay. Not a payoff card. I think if he had something great to do, he would have done it. But then what is the one card he's holding? I wonder if it's like Veil of Summer. I gotta look up that card. Is it creatures or is it permanent? I think it's... Is it creatures and lands? Spells you control can't be countered. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue. We need a land. Okay. Just thinking, don't want to mess up, because what I think we do then is we... Well, We bounce the bridge, put him to 6. He replays the bridge. I think we have to pass. I think what we're trying to do here... I don't know who's going to play this. What he's going to play, but Paradox is in also 5, so we can't quell it, which is kind of annoying. But I think what we want to do here is we need to set it up so that when we bounce the bridge, he's just dead. Actually, one way we can do that. We can't mana like that. So anyway, one of the things I was going to say is what we can do. None of this we care about. Does he have something that draws him a card? So Geist can attack. What I think we're going to do, he still has one card in hand. I'm guessing it's Veil of Summer. So we can Field of Ruin something, and if he casts Veil, we'll just dispel it. And what we want to do then is... but if we have to dispel, then we don't get the Mystic Sanctuary. Should we just try to draw a land? See, what we want to do is if we put a Mystic Sanctuary on, then basically we have 6. Well, that's not quite right. 6, 9. We need one more bolt. Spell Queller is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're 1 short. This mana leak is about as dead as could possibly be, too. You know what we can do? Well, we can't because we're not attacking with Geist. I don't think he's going to use Veil of Summer if we Field of Ruin. And if he does, fine, we'll just freaking dispel it. Do we put Bolt on top? Maybe we don't yet. Okay. The other thing we really want is if we can get 6 lands into play, we can go ahead and Teferi bounce the bridge and then Queller it on the way back down, and he's nothing he can do from a Veil of Summer standpoint. I actually think I'm not gonna worry too much about the burn plan just yet. Let's see. Wait, there is another bolt. 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. I think we just probably can keep all of these. I'm gonna shock. Just because I want to. I don't know if this what's gonna come up with this Veil of Summer, but I want to have an answer to it. So then next turn we play Field of Ruin. We bounce the bridge, attack for 6. When he replays the bridge, we Queller it. I think we let it resolve and we just path now. Oh, but that stupid golem token, and it's part of our whole damn plan. God, he gets to spin the wheel a lot too. Maybe we should have just quellered that. That's gonna find a. That's gonna find a. 6, 7, 8. I mean, I'm really wondering if we made a boo boo. Okay, I'm not so worried about Tormod's Crypt. Okay, so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Like nothing that bad happened from that. I mean, the golem's annoying. It is an 8/8 golem. Ooh, Blast Zone. I think we're kind of priced into bouncing this construct. God, that sucks. You know, I'm just not thinking here. I was holding up this Dispel so that if we Veil of Summer Ensnaring Bridge, he can't cast it, but he can't cast Veil of Summer with Teferi, Resolve Teferi anyway. So that's a bit silly. I still think we're gonna lose this game. I mean, you can't Blast Zone us this turn, but now we have to find another Teferi for this Ensnaring Bridge. And our clock's going to be a lot slower because it's not a Geist clock. Well, now if we it's just so bad. Another draw a million. Not a draw a million, but I mean, I guess Internet Explosives is still a pretty good draw. gosh. I'm Quellerin it this time. I have no other answer for it. It gives all this mana, and that's how it's just gonna... Uh-oh, what now? Okay, just a core tapper. Alright, we really need to find a way to deal with the bridge. Teferi! Oh, it's kind of interesting. If we do it now, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm trying to think. Is it right to just go ahead and cast it now, and let's say we draw another Teferi. We bounce the Ensnaring Bridge. It's kind of annoying because he has this as a blocker as well, actually. We still can answer the Blast Zone with this Field of Ruin. He's not... I mean, next... He can put another counter on next turn, but he obviously can't activate it. It's a draw 3, I guess, because we're gonna do Dispel and Mana Leak. I think I'm gonna pass. And then at his end step, I'm gonna field this. And then I'm going to cast Valakut Awakening. And I think we just need him to draw like one of these things one more time. I don't know about just one more time, but... okay, I guess we're dead. Maybe what I was supposed to do, actually, I was supposed to probably Valakut Awakening with Karn on the stack. Like it's a Wormcoil? We can probably get a Wormcoil engine. Maybe? I never had Veil of Summer, apparently. Okay, so what do we do? First off, I think we're going to do this. I think we can just get a mountain, and the thing is, how much? Okay, what do we need to draw? What do we need to draw? We need to bounce the Ensnaring Bridge. We need to find a path. We need to find a path, of which I think we boarded a bunch out. We need to bounce the Ensnaring Bridge. Maybe we're supposed to bolt the Karn, because what does the sword do for us? Yeah, I think we're supposed to bolt the Karn. The reason is, I mean... Well, the reason was for swords. Let's cast this. So this untaps. hold on, let's think here. We're gonna put 1, 2. I guess we can just batter skull the worm coil. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, we don't have enough. No, we do have enough mana. Wait, hold on. I gotta think. I feel like I just need to do what I'm thinking, and I don't know if it's good enough, but I just gotta go for it. Oh, it doesn't work anyway because it can't attack. Sound like my whole mana thing is just fucked. Well, he can't attack us though. Nobody can attack. Man, I don't know. I'm obviously playing way too slow to be able to even figure out how to win this match. Sure, I guess I'll put that on top. This is like the longest possible route to victory, and I don't think I have time anymore. I think it's taking me too long to figure it out. But Batter Skull on Spell Queller makes him swing for 6. I'm gonna do this. And I think, isn't there a Teferi? This is just wild. My brain. Six, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. Oh my god, I think I figured it out, but I don't think I've given myself enough time. I don't even know. I don't have my mana counted up yet. I thought I had a sort of feast and famine. What did I do with that? Oh, it's already out there. Oh, I forgot to bounce. I forgot to bounce. I was supposed to bounce against Snares versus Teferi, and that would have won the game. Oh, I feel sick to my stomach. I'm so disappointed. What a bummer. This is a long game, too. So, I had the time. I mean, it was seconds, but I had it. Basically, bounce and snare with Teferi, attack, 12 damage, win the game. Oh, I gotta go. It's already 5:36. This took way longer than I expected, and I have to go do family stuff. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the games. Oh, it hurts me to the core because I was so close, and I totally should have won that game. Ugh. It's not what to say except just ugh. I hope you guys. I don't know when I'll get around this to the last time. I feel like this is actually a bit difficult for me to like string 5 of these together. It's actually not, right? It's not, because I would play these games anyway, but it feels like it's a lot more effort, I guess, to record them, and then I do feel a bit more pressure to try to play better, because I'm not gonna lie, like when I play on my own, I should probably put. I don't always put a lot of effort to it. A lot of times I'm like coming after dinner or whatever. I had like 3 drinks and I'm just like, whatever, just play like lazy magic, play if I lose, I don't care, blah blah blah. But like nobody wants to see me just like play like a dumbass, so I still can't believe it. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed some content from me after all this time. Bye.